So I would like to welcome Mr. Dennis Sanchez. Where did Dennis go? There he is. Come on down here.
Thank you.
With Mate.AI.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank 1 Million Cups for hosting us on our platform. I'd like to thank the sponsors and everyone who puts this together. And I'd like to thank everyone's time. I know you could be doing something else, so I'd like to talk about Mate. It's an interesting thing. Where I'm at and the problem that I'm trying to solve, you guys know best of how we can make our product better for the audience. So let's begin. Who are we? We are Mate.AI. We are a wellness company. Yes, people are doing it, but why use AI if you're already talking to ChatGPT? It's for when things get personal. You know, you want more privacy, and that's why you should choose us. So we are a mental health telehealth app. So what it is, we're using AI on subscription and telehealth to connect with doctors. So we know how to manage loneliness, and we're here to help. Loneliness is the leading cause for suicides, divorces, bullying, and broken families, but connection changes everything. And we feel like we are your space to talk, reflect, and be heard. Not many people have an outlet, so we are providing an outlet, and people are turning to AI more so. Why care? This was on OBT, so this was my reality back in the day. I lived actually a few houses down, and I thought this was a cool picture, but then I had a realization that, this was my reality. So I didn't want to be fixed. No one wants to be fixed. Talk therapy is, I feel like we can mostly heal from talk therapy and not just, therapists are needed, but most of us don't want to be fixed. We just need someone to listen. But let's get real. Insurance, access, and risk. The problem, most of us who need mental health care can't afford it. Out of pocket, it's sometimes, where do we get the money if we're already having a crisis? Where do we turn to when symptoms worsen? But we provide a medical level care, and if mismanaged through AI, it can cause harm and liability. So we have, of course, that's the cliche, bridge the gap, but we have created some middle ground here. So we are a self-scheduling conversational AI that offers emotional support in real-time voice sessions and triage for telehealth referrals. Currently on the market, there's chatbots offering CBT techniques. You guys know what CBT techniques are. Has it worked? I'm not sure. That's a personal question that you probably have to ask yourself. Communication with human therapists. Yes, it works, but sometimes the problem that I'm finding is that therapists can kind of so say if you're a parent and you send your child to therapy, the problem is that the therapist can kind of sway from your values, and that's some feedback that I'm getting. Online therapy, now we're offering therapy through your application, and content and live coaching is what other people are doing. We're not doing that, we're just doing conversational. So how are we making money? It's free for everyone. You can download it today. You get 30 minutes of free talking, and this is how I plan to keep this price as low as possible. I'm sure if you look up other premium subscriptions, they charge $20. So this is what I tried to do to keep the cost as low as possible. You're never obligated to pay. So how we plan on creating money is through add-ons. So as you can see, unlimited voice, you can get it for $10. Still gauging that. I don't know if that's the right thing. Maybe you guys have better ideas on how it can, how we can generate money. So AR, MRR, that is, of course, in a lot of people's wheelhouses. So this is what I've come up with. So with 13,000 users, this is how we can get to 1 million a year. And with, for monthly, we can 167,000, we can get to 1 million a month. And this is retention. That's the only way we can really get those numbers. Of course, there's going to be churn and things like that, but that's why we are actively analyzing our data. So telehealth insurance, I do want to get to here. This is something that is very important because I feel like a lot of people need it. But the problem is insurance, they are very particular on who they onboard. So this is how we are approaching this. We're going to partner with licensed therapists, something that we're already going to do. A revenue share, we're going to license the AI to providers so they can use it for B2B with HIPAA agreements. Incident to billing, admin fee, and clinical co-op. So we're going to work with supervising doctors and licensed clinical social workers. Public health, Medicaid grants. I'm not sure if I want to go that route, but it's an option on the board. That's why I put it. And that requires contracts and grant applications and therapist premium tools. So, like I said, we are a telehealth platform. So what we're going to do is, it's an office suite. Uber for therapy. I shouldn't have said that because that's essentially what it is. We're not diagnosing anything. We're triaging. So are people using it? Yes. We have set 80, well, it's a little more now. This is what it's been going on, the behind the scenes. So a little over 100 people within the first month without any ads. We still aren't doing ads because we're fixing up our SEO backend. And my job as a founder is to smooth things out before we release to the masses. So right now we're localizing our efforts in Orlando and Florida, but we are available in Canada and some parts overseas. Audience, okay, I thought it was assisted living places. I went to assisted living. I thought that was who we needed to help, is the elderly, but I realized the elderly, they don't have any cell phones. They're on flip phones, and I do that now as a community outreach. So I've partnered with another company as an R&V Art House. So we just go to assisted living places and do art events. And I pretty much set up the iPhone and let the elderly people just, and that's such a good feeling. So if you guys, assisted living people, they actually need, they like to talk. So we have competitors. They raised 12 million in the first round. They're on round 6 right now, so that number went up. So people who truly need mental health support often can't pay, but people who can pay are often less urgent. So even if you guys did download, you're not really, unless you're kind of in the moment. So it's when you're going through something personal, you just want to have a little bit of safety. So what is Pocketmate? An AI-powered wellness companion that supports emotional regulation, reflection, and connection. And it's not a substitute for therapy or crisis care. Because we need humans in that. And people are afraid that AI is going to take their jobs, but this is how we can bridge that gap of getting people hired and offering jobs. The core safety objectives for us currently is to prevent emotional harm and misinformation, deter unsafe or manipulative AI use, comply with Senate Bill 243. I'll pause here for a second. It's still, Senate Bill 243 is safety guardrails being introduced. It's not in law yet, but we are ahead of that curve of knowing what's the ethical AI policies that we have to implement ahead of time. So we are, if you're keeping up with AI, great, but we're just trying to stay ahead of the law and keep a safe product. I'm not sure if anyone knows what moderation is. It's safety. So how do we keep the app safe? It's through contextual conversation where we identify content filters of hate, harassment, violence, self-harm, exploitation, and illegal activity. We are HIPAA compliant, and we have escalation triggers to prevent intervention layers. And I'm not sure if any other companies are doing that, but that's interesting to know. Crisis aware response. So this is how we are this is how our trigger system works. We give you a second chance opportunity. So we understand that most people need an outlet. So instead of just going out and just saying, hey, what you said was a trigger, we give you a chance to provide some, like a reset. Maybe you just needed to let it out. But if it is after a first alert, graphic and abuse and violent threat, we will block your account for 24 hours. And at the bottom here is the crisis protocol compliance with the Senate Bill 243. Interestingly enough, I'm still battling this one. AI is not a mandated reporter, so human therapy is. So right now we're still balancing that. That's why I need awareness to bridge that gap of human therapy so we can get the mandated reporters. So the Senate bill says that we have to detect suicidal ideation. And it says that we have to. We're already doing the third bullet point, which we refer to, the 988, the suicide prevention hotline, and then the Senate bill says that we have to log itemized crisis data to HSS. But things are, like I said, the Senate bill is still pending, but we are ahead of that curve, so that way when things are enacted, we are already on that board. Advisory team, me. I have a background in cyber operations and an MBA. I built this company when I was in the military because I realized, I didn't have an outlet myself. And working with clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, and doctor of physical therapy, so just have a whole spectrum of what's going on, because I do want physical therapy in there. And so we are pre-seed, sorry. We're pre-revenue, but not pre-traction, and we're already being used. So thank you again for your time. So.
All right, thank you. Denny.
Well, I'm a disabled veteran. Matter of fact, I'm on my way right after here to the Veterans Hospital in Lake Nona. You've got to be aware that maybe the biggest thing with the veterans things is PTSD. Matter of fact, you cannot call the VA and not have the conversation start, are you thinking of suicide?
Yeah.
They always do that. Have you approached them? I mean, this is perfect for them. They're the people working on it more than anybody else, because obviously they want to help the veterans.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here. Yeah. The issue is that for me as a founder, I want to have leverage and not be used by the big companies. So I want to say, hey, this product works. I know it works. This is why you need it. Versus them approaching me of any questions. I want to lay it on the table and them not have any questions.
Well, I think you should definitely find out who's responsible and see if you can get it through them. Yeah. I think if it works for them, they're going to adopt it. That's all I really want.
Yeah, I actually went to the Lake Nona office and spoke to, I won't say their name, but the person that is in charge of that, and just waiting for email response. So we get lost in the inbox.
You need to go up the ladder. You need to get started at the top with it. Is what it comes down to.
So to follow up on that,
yes.
the best way to get into any government mandated program is through the Small Business Innovation Research Grants. They take time, but SBIRs is the way to go, because that's the funnel through which companies like yours eventually do business with government-funded programs.
Yeah.
And of course, in today's day and age, we don't know what's going to be funded and what's not.
Yeah.
But with regard to the presentation, so is this your first time presenting?
Second time.
Second time presenting? Okay. So keep practicing.
Yes.
Right? Don't read off the screen. We want to make sure that you can explain it simpler, right? Because you mentioned 5 times what you guys do and how you do it, but set 5 different ways.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. There really wasn't a call to action, but we're going to ask that in a minute. And then the presentation, too many words. The presentation should be a background to what you're saying.
Right.
We should be focused on you, not the screen.
Exactly.
And same for you, for that matter.
Yes.
So, the question?
Don't you think
What's that?
What's your question?
So the question is, you mentioned early on,
Yes.
you're concerned, you're HIPAA compliant, but you said you're concerned about privacy. So we all know ChatGPT and pretty much any other AI thing is not private. So can you explain how you handle that?
Okay. Yes. If you're using the free version of ChatGPT, your information trains the AI. If you're using premium for ChatGPT, your information is not training the AI. So what we have done is we have a contract with OpenAI right now that our moderation is HIPAA compliant, so no information or privacy is shared, and we have that with Amazon and Google as well, and other vendors. We're HIPAA compliant across the board.
Hey, thank you for a beautiful presentation. I think you have a lot of things to tell to the world, and
Sure.
you know, you could have connected your personal story rather than picture that on the house. You know, I think it tells more to people how you started. But my question is regarding how did you come up with the cost structure? I mean, including all those agreements with OpenAI, because $5 and $11, it's a monthly rate.
I'm sorry,
It's a monthly rate.
I'm sorry.
It's a monthly rate.
Yeah,
rate.
monthly.
Yeah. That's the first question. The second one would be kind of suggestion. When you do the AI, right, especially in the health realm, it would be nice to include the human in loop, if you know what I mean, because it's quite risky, you know, and AI has accuracy, things like that. If you could involve their human in loop, their algorithms, if you could talk to OpenAI and tell them, hey, I need a human in loop, then that would be, because you said that you're building Uber for, what's it called again?
Therapy.
For mental wellness, right? So that would be really, really helpful, and it would be reliable.
Yeah, I certainly agree. So the first question, yes, the tokens for AI are very fractions on cents. So that's how we are able to lower our pricing. The second part, yes, people are afraid of AI taking jobs. So that's why we have that telehealth therapy. But I want to pay the doctors. I want to give them their worth. Right now, we built it where they have autonomy to their scheduling and pricing. But most people want AI and humans. Well, most people want humans, but it's like we have to get there. You know, it's definitely a roadmap, and there's obstacles along the way, and I want people to kind of understand that to get that human aspect, we kind of. I hope I answered that question. I don't know. I hope I answered your question. Okay, thank you.
So I don't have a tech savvy questions because I'm not that tech savvy
No, it's
as
fine,
my
yeah.
brother down there. But I wanted to ask you a human side question. So I'm someone who has a bachelor in education. I did years in psychology. What I wanted to know, I've seen that you work with doctors that are from different countries. Are you planning to add the cultural aspect to that? Because mental health, you know, has the cultural aspect to that. And also, are you going to implement any languages, and are you planning to kind of move it across different countries? Because, you know, I work with people from 60 different countries. I mean, like, are you looking into that? And if you're interested, you know, there's always an opportunity to collaborate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of my advisors have connections with UNICEF, so our goal is global, you know. But we have to start somewhere, and Orlando is that market. Right now, you can talk to it in Korean, Chinese, French, many languages. You know, as far as getting it into the UK and EU, that's only a document, a contract. But it doesn't make sense for me to jump that board right now and to promote into another country where we haven't established home base yet. And awareness is that biggest thing. And I'm sorry, there was a second question. But
Are you looking to implement or to, you know, to kind of grow globally in a sense? And are you going to implement the languages? That was just the way. But I think you answered it.
yeah, it's definitely we're tracking that direction.
I think you should. I mean,
Yeah.
this is more than ever right now, especially with younger generation.
Yeah.
Like kids, students, universities, I think.
Exactly.
It's very important, especially in certain places around the world. I think you big hit.
Yeah. The goal is globally. I feel like 1 million a month is definitely not. It's a metric, but it's not my personal thing. My personal thing is getting people help. So yeah.
Well, thank you for the presentation.
Yeah.
I just had a question on the like the integrating the therapist part. Because could you explain the part where you somebody goes to the chatbot, and then
Yeah.
what point do you push them over to a therapist?
I don't. It's up to you. It's
Okay, so
it's how you perceive how you want your support.
Okay.
Do you want to talk to someone, or do you want to just let it out?
So it's both. It's like if I want to just talk to the chatbot, it's that, or if I want to connect with the licensed therapist, it's that as well.
Exactly.
Okay. At any point, does it if you start talking to it and you get it, like somebody is suicidal, let's say,
Right.
would you immediately push them over to a therapist or try to refer them out to a therapist? Or
Yeah. So Senate Bill 24243 is pending. So that is one of those options that we are considering. That if someone is experiencing suicide ideation, your information is private, but we trigger. So we know it's your account, so we would nudge you to
Okay.
a human.
Okay. And just last question. I am a therapist. How many therapists do you have? Do you have any therapists that you're referring out to now, or any using the platform?
Well, a lot of therapists are interested. It's just I can't onboard yet because
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to provide value to you because you want clients. You want to work from home. You want that remote work and get paid your worth. I just don't have the users to send to you right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Great, that's great. I got these guys first.
All right. So question is what's your North Star? Like 3 years from now, what does Pocket Mate look like to the user or consumer? And then what's the value that it'll deliver? Where do you see that?
Okay, right now our North Star is click to installs. I can't forecast 3 years from now because the world changes so fast. If I could, then I would say this is where we are. Next month we might have a different thing. We don't know what people want.
From your perspective now, 3 years from now, where do you?
3 years from now, that our telehealth platform is enacted in about 7 states, and interesting enough, companies, they find product market fit in 3 months if they're really good. Most who have perseverance last a year, and for 3 years we should have a good market. Yeah.
Hey, great presentation. I just have a quick question. I saw that your focus market right now is teens and college students.
Sure.
What other test studies have you done to include other demographics?
None.
No?
It's we don't know who needs it. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a brain. Everyone has an issue. Everyone's going through something. But it's like who? That is all of our problems with business. Yeah.
Okay, back here.
So I have twofold question. One is you mentioned about targeting the senior citizens initially, right? You wanted to target the senior citizens.
Yes.
But you realize that they don't really have a lot of smartphones. Why can't you use AI to have them call into a number and it becomes their personal chatbot, right? With natural language processing.
Yeah.
Right. That can help them, and it can be authenticated by their phone number and a PIN number, so they know it's the same, person.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can use that as a back end to do sentiment analysis on the conversation, and if they feel suicidal or they feel like they're being threatened or something, it can trigger so somebody can call in to their emergency contact or to the suicide hotline or something. I mean, have you thought about something like that?
Yeah, interesting. Because senior citizens, they are. I love them. It makes me think about my own life. you know, because we got about 40 years, and then 60-year-olds, we have, when I'm 60, we'll have someone taking care of me. So.
Hopefully not that early.
Yeah. Well, with good health. So to answer that question, yes. It's just I've seen the issues. Most senior citizens, like in assisted living, they're ordering Amazon, and I love that. It's just sometimes the nursing portion of how, yeah, it's kind of complex because I still need to see more of how they're living. Oh, please, yes. Thank you for the feedback.
Perfect. All right. So we're out of time. So last question from us to you is, how can we, as the Orlando community of 1 million cups, help you? What's your biggest need right now?
What are your problems? That's what how can we help you and tailor to your situation, and then share with somebody. It's free. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. So it sounds to me, Dennis, you need to get with Nitin back there. And then for those of you who had other questions, get with him after you're done. Okay?
Thank you.
So we were supposed to have a second presenter today, but she canceled late last night. So one of the things that we've talked about, and Rupert always talks about, is, and I'm in full agreement with this, you know, a lot of things in stuff that you'll see is businesses fail because they run out of money. I don't think it's running out of money. I think it's they run out of money because they're not properly managing that asset. And I think that's a major issue. But we're not going to talk about that because we have other people in the room, I think, that we're going to head that direction in other upcoming sessions. But what I want to talk to you about is some things that I have embraced over the last 13 years and more of working, and things that I hope can help you guys as fellow entrepreneurs. So just for those of you who are new here, so my background is I grew up actually in a family-owned restaurant business. I started my first business at 12 years old. I was mowing lawns, raking leaves, shoveling snow. I grew up in New England, so all of that fun stuff, but I understood that, and I kind of created this mentality of I don't want to work for anybody else. And a couple of ventures that I've had into working for corporate America didn't end very well. So I decided, you know, I want to work for myself. I can control what I do. So I'm going to share some things with you, and we'll have a little conversation about this. But one of the biggest things that you have to do and understand as an entrepreneur is understanding and recognizing that this is what dictates your future, what's in here. So many times we end up going out there and we self-sabotage ourselves. We think, I can't do this, or we look at things that have happened in the past and we're dragging our past forward. It's past. That's why it's called past. Leave it there, all right? So work forward. You have to come forward in your ventures when you're working today. You need to come forward with the belief that, number one, quitting is not an option. It shouldn't ever be on the table if you want to succeed. The only reason quitting may ever come across is if there's no other alternative. You've used up all your options and there's really no other way to go. But I still think as an entrepreneur that there's ways that we can find ways around that. So if you're serious about your dream and you're serious about that future you, where do you want to be, you'll find a way to do that. So I'd still say quitting is not an option. But some tools and things that you can use that can help you with that. One of the things that I've really embraced is a concept called starting your day right. And there's a great, and I've talked about Araj before, but Araj Vashogi, VosCoachingCo.com, all right, he has a great program called Millionaire Morning. And it's a great way to be able to start your day. You should go get yourself like a 3-ring binder or get yourself a spiral notebook. And every day, you're going to put things in there like gratitude. 5 things that you're grateful for that are going on right now or that happen. I'm grateful that I'm on this side of the grass today. Okay? Whatever it happens to be. But when you get up in the morning, you should do those things. 5 things you're grateful for. 5 things that you know are going to happen, things that you're working for. So what is that? So Dennis mentioned, I want to be in 7 states in 3 years. I think he can be in more than that. I think that if he puts in his head and says, in 3 years, I will be in all 50 states, he can make it happen. I think a lot of it is our psyche. We don't think big enough. We really don't. As entrepreneurs, we just kind of limit ourselves to where we go. And because we limit ourselves, we don't get as quickly as where we want to go. So that's a couple things. Other things that you want to talk about is, you know, get up and work. They've proven, even if you go for a walk during the day, one of the things I like to do is when I'm talking on the phone, I walk around the house, inside of course, not outside in the summer, but I'll walk around the house. I've got a little path through 3 or 4 different rooms. I'll walk. I've walked over 10,000 steps in a day just talking on the phone and getting up and walking. It's good for you. It's healthy. It keeps your mind active, keeps your mind going. You also want to do what's called auto-suggestion, okay? Look yourself in the mirror every morning and just talk to yourself. You are, I am. Affirmations, things that are where you want to go, things that you want to be. And I think one of the biggest concepts that I've ever learned from Iraj, it's a challenge sometimes to do, it takes practice, is make decisions from the future you, the person that you want to be. Where am I in that time frame, in 3 years from now? Okay, so we'll use Dennis as an example. In 3 years, I'm in all 50 states. I'm making over $1 million a month in this company. If you're doing that as a company and you have this mindset and attitude, can you make different decisions as that person than you would today? Right? That's a question for everybody. Can you? Yes, absolutely. So why wouldn't you try to think like this person? What would this person do? What would this you do in the future? So it's important that you consider making decisions from the future you. Ask yourself these questions. Now, this stuff is some coaching that I got a while ago, and it really kind of changed my mental attitude. One of my mentors is a woman by the name of Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth is a self-made woman. She's a multi-millionaire. She makes over $1 million a year. She's closing in on $2 million a year. She's building a very unique boutique hotel on the beach in Myrtle Beach, and just a phenomenal woman. Very giving. But I've always told her, I said, Elizabeth, you know, the thing that I really love about you is that you hold no punches. You're willing to punch us in the face. And she goes, well, while I'm punching you in the face, let me ask you a question. Okay, very typical of her. But the importance and why I bring that up is because we all need to have some kind of a mentorship like that. You need to have somebody that can help you, that you can talk to, that can give you ideas, that can point you in a direction. They see things that you don't because they've been down the path that you want to go down, all right? So instead of asking Uncle Buck, who's sitting on the couch flicking through the TV going, that shit don't work. Well, how do you know, Uncle Buck? 'Cause I know. Well, if they haven't been there, why would you ask them for advice? That's the biggest mistake that people make, in my opinion. It really is. We ask the wrong people. Talk to people who've been there. Talk to people that can help you get where you want to get to. Okay? That's fantastic to do that. So here's some questions that Elizabeth asked me, and I want you guys to write these down. And I want you to go home and I want you to think about these questions over the next few days and the next few weeks. Okay? So, first thing I want you to ask yourself, what is my full potential? What is my full potential? Realistically, if you could do anything that you wanted to do, money was not an option, you were not mentally an option against yourself and beating yourself up, what's the true potential you can have? Where do you think you can go in your life? And when you think of where you want to go, multiply it by about 10. And that's where you can be. That's your true potential. Think about that. And what am I truly capable of? All right? In your business, where are you right now today? Do you have plans written out? Do you have your goals written out? One of the other things that Araj talks about is in your daily routine in the morning, write out your goal. And it's not, I want to lose 10 pounds. It's like, by doing A, B, C, and it's an I, like you've already achieved it. So one of the things that you may want to write out is, I'm sitting on the porch of my second home in the mountains of Georgia. It's in the fall. I'm having a nice cup of coffee. My wife's sitting beside me. Our daughter's married, and her husband are here with us. This is what we've achieved, and this is what we're doing. Spell it out like it's a reality. Spell it out like it's already happened. And by writing it out, you're planting it into your subconscious mind. And you're helping yourself get to where you want to go, because your mind cannot tell the difference between reality and dream. It really can't. And I'll prove it to you. How many of you have woken up in the middle of the night in cold sweats because something scared the crap out of you? Right? We've all had that happen.
That's being honest here.
Was it happening? No, you were in bed sleeping. Your brain doesn't know that. Your brain doesn't know the difference of you telling it, this is where I am, this is what I've accomplished, here's where we're going. All right? Your brain can't tell the difference. So what are you truly capable of? And what does my future look like if I am world class? World class. That is a great thing to think about. That is being like the Ritz-Carlton in hotels, right? That is being like the cream of the creme of the top, the best of the best. How can you do that in your business? How can you get there? So what do I look like if I'm world class? Think to yourself, I don't need to be perfect, but I do need to be accountable to my vision and my world-class self. I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up because we try to be perfectionists, or we don't do things because, well, it's not going to be quite right. Well, think about it this way. You know, ready, aim, fire? Change that. Ready, fire, aim. You're not going to learn what you need to learn by not getting out there and doing what you need to do to see what mistakes come. See what happens. How can I learn from this? So Dennis, in a perfect example, you were great. You recorded your own presentation this morning, something I'm going to highly recommend to you and to all of you. Go home, watch that, make notes. What could I do better? Where could I cut down on time? How do I present this? When I know I'm going to go do a presentation for a company or different things, I'm going to practice that over and over again. My audience, I go in my daughter's room and I get all of her stuffed animals and I set them on the couch and the chairs around, but I have an audience. And I probably give that speech 20 to 25 times before I even do it out there, okay, in real life. So I'm comfortable with it. That's really important that you do that. Work towards mastery, that world-class self. Think to yourself and say to yourself, I am being pulled towards my world-class self. I am getting 1% better every day, right? Just do something yesterday that you did today. My vision, where you want to go, my vision is an irrevocable, committed decision that will be a reality in my life. Okay? You have to have that vision. That's what you're accountable to. Do you guys have daily minimums? Do you have daily disciplines? Things that you do every day that are not negotiable? Okay? With me, I have daily disciplines that I need to do. Part of my daily disciplines is personal development. I read a minimum of 10 pages a day of a good book, not some trashy novel, something that I can learn and change mentally from, something that can help the way we think. So that's one of them. Another one is I do a minimum of 2 to 5 contacts a day. So that is, for me, it could be, I track numbers. What numbers do you track? So some of the things I track is a touch. A touch would be, okay, I just met Kim this morning. That's a touch to me. That's kind of like an introduction. She would go on my list of people I would like to have a conversation with, learn more about what she's doing, see if I can help her in any way. Whenever you go in to do that, we live on our talking about 1 million cups, having a cup of coffee. You should always, when you try to learn a little bit about the person you're going to meet, and try to bring them a referral or maybe a strategic partner introduction. I have a gentleman that I'm meeting with at 1 o'clock this afternoon. He owns a fencing company. My neighbor needs a new fence and he's looking for people. And I met somebody else the other day. I'm taking him 2 referrals today. How many of you ever do that? Do you ever do that? It's important to think like that. Give, have a spirit of giving, right? Zig Ziglar. I'll get more. If you can help enough people get what they want in life, you'll get everything you want out of life. So think like that when we move forward. And then the last question that Elizabeth really hit me with the other day, or 2 weeks ago now, 2.5 weeks, we were talking about something and she said to me, Jim, are you 100% bought into your vision, our system, and your success? And of course my brain sits here and it starts thinking to myself, well, what do you mean by 100% bought in? And I think she's asking me that question because I'm short somewhere that she sees that I don't. So we had that conversation. So think like that to yourself. Are you 100% bought into your vision, your system, where you're going, and what your success is? So that's it. And thank you all for... And so I hope that helps some of you. So let's wrap up. So these are some of our sponsors here with Tech Hub, OMG Labs, and UCF, Future Funders. Donut Central is where we get our donuts, and Salai Coffee is where our coffee comes from Peter. These are our sponsors, Kirkendall, Driven Digital, Stoic Nan helps with some online stuff, John Swanson, Rupert with Orlandopreneur, and myself and Legal Shield Business Solutions. We meet every Wednesday here at the Tech Hub at 8:30 to 9 is our networking, and then 9 to 10 is our meeting. If you're an organizer, please raise your hand. If you have any questions, come see one of us and we'll be happy to answer your questions and help you get involved and plugged into the community, and go connect with someone. If you like the coffee you're drinking, go to Foxtail. Peter just got the concession. He attends here, he shared here, and he got the connection for Foxtail Coffee. Sells Salai Coffee. So tell them you want Kenyan coffee when you go there. Okay? So why do you come, attend, apply, and prepare and present when you're ready to do that? We'll help you with that as we go through. Why do you want to do that? Because of marketing and brand awareness. Get your name out there. Practice and feedback, it'll help you grow. Create strategic partnerships, hiring and retaining talent. Somebody in here knows somebody that you want to know. Okay, somebody you want to get to. And the other thing is networking experience. If you want to present, That's the website. You go on there, you'll see present, fill out your information. Eric will typically get back to you, or somebody will get back to you, one of us, and we'll schedule a time to have a conversation, help you with your presentation as we go forward. So we want to thank you for being here. We'll see you next week in 166 and a half hours, 9,990 minutes, or 599,400 seconds. And if you didn't get a chance to scan in, please let them know at 1 million cups that were checked in. And there's your closing quote for the day. So thank you all. Have a great week.